Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Brother Sister Show, a family-owned and operated podcast where two siblings attempt to keep in touch by talking about movies. This week, we're talking about Oscar nominee Drive My Car. Just such a dramatic pause. Also, another 3-hour movie.
Yeah, we've really been watching movies.
We're doing it for you guys. All for you. But before we get into that wonderful movie, what have you been up to?
Nothing much. Doing school stuff still. Spring break is coming up, so I'm excited for that. A little bit of a break. But my projects have been going pretty well. Like I have another AI one due tomorrow, and I've actually done like a good part of it. I just need to like document it. So night and day from, the first assignment where I was just up like 48 hours straight just working. So that's good. It's good to hear. I'm telling you, it's good to hear. It's good to say and it's good to hear.
Me say it out loud. Oh, and I see that you have some additions to your sad wall. What's behind you? What is that?
What? This?
The other one.
This one is from A24. It's so dark that you can't see it, but that's the Green Knight. It's a Dev Patel right there. I have another one. I owe you it, I think. I told you I was going to give it to you.
Oh, sure.
It was a really long time ago. But they gave it to me when I got the shirt, the Green Knight shirt. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all that's new other than watching movies. We're pre-recording this way earlier than we normally do because South by. It's happening.
No, nobody's going. It's just happening.
Yeah, we're just preparing.
We're preparing for
Something is going to happen.
Yeah. That's all my life. Okay. Well, I was going to say that's all my life has been revolving around the past few days. But weirdly, it doesn't feel, I don't know. I feel like I'm not prepared enough. But like,
it's the calm before the storm. I
guess so. But like part of me is wondering if I'm not preparing enough. Do you ever like when you get nervous or something's going to happen, and you're like, I feel like I should feel nervous or I should feel anxious, but I don't feel as anxious as I thought. Even though I literally just off the podcast, I was telling you how I'm like manifesting or I'm just like making up all these weird diseases I have because I'm so anxious and nervous. But weirdly, that's kind of tame compared to what I'm used to. So I like part of me is like, am I not thinking enough about this? Does that ever happen to you?
I haven't shit my pants yet, so I'm not that nervous about this.
Honestly, you think that's a joke, but like that is how my nervousness manifests. Not shitting my pants, but like like stomach issues. That's
yeah, I'm the same way. Before every big test, I always gotta poop.
Gotta take out
100%.
Shit.
Yeah.
After every screening, before every screening, which honestly is not. Some people I feel like that'd be a nightmare, but I am not shy to shit in a public restroom.
Oh yeah.
Not at all. I think that's the superpower of our family. I don't want to like dox our family into like.
But we can shit everywhere.
Truly, I feel like that's a gift. I think. It's just being able to go like not being shy. I don't care if people hear me. I truly don't care. No shame. Pun intended. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. You don't give a shit because we give many shits.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
If you are going to South by and you hear something happen in the stall next to you, mind your fucking business. That's all I have to say.
1, mind your damn business. 2, you know who it is.
Exactly. And leave me alone. You just look at under the little, like, take a peek. You'll see my New Balances and you'll know.
Why are there gaps in that? Is that just like for airflow? Like, there's no reason. It doesn't
make any sense. It truly doesn't. I feel like, okay, so you can cut this out because it's just a tangent. But like this girl people were talking about at work, like hobbies that we have. And this one girl said that
I love shitting.
That's what I should have said. No, she said that she likes to take pictures of fire hydrants. And I was like, that's such a quirky, like fun thing to do. And the only thing I can think of is I feel like every time I go to the restroom somewhere, I need to have like an in-depth conversation with the person that I'm with about like how good or bad the restroom is.
Oh yeah, I went to a restroom. It's funny at Old Navy recently.
They have restrooms?
I think it was an Old Navy. No, I think it was a CVS, and I took a picture of the restroom because I wanted to take a picture. I wanted to show Kayla because look how decrepit this is.
It looks like a meme. That is like, so. Why is it? So, you know what? CVS restrooms are so big for no reason.
This is spacious.
It is. No, yeah, that happens to like every one that I've been in at a because I fucking love CVS, and their restrooms are always really spacious. But the whole point of that was like I always take note when places have, like restrooms where the wall it's kind of like Buc-ee's where you can't see anything. You're basically going into your own room.
Right.
And I don't know why people don't do that. I guess it costs too much. I don't know. I want to know the science behind that.
Yeah, I mean, like for us, it's always I feel like we have a list of places that we're like, we're gonna go shit here, and it's gonna be an enjoyable experience because we're not gonna like be scared for our safety, or like it's just gonna have a pleasant vibe. Like we can stop at Buc-ee's and like, you can take your time a little bit. Sometimes I feel like there's like levels of restrooms at public places. Mm-hmm. There's like one where you have to squat because for some reason the toilet seat has like Wolverine cut the shit out of it for some reason.
Oh yeah.
And you gotta like squat unless like your thighs are gonna feel like they're on a cheese grater for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. And those are only in like bars.
Yeah. So
which is
weird.
Like, yeah.
And on campus a lot too.
And that makes me think of on campus. What the fuck are people doing in restrooms? But it makes me think of like I don't know if this is purely a Texas thing. I don't know if I'm sure is there Circle K and QT everywhere else, or is it just Texas?
I think it's pretty much universal.
Okay, because we have on our road that we live on, we have you know how you have there's always a gas station. Like when you say like, hey, do you want to go to the gas station? Everybody has one, And for us, there's either a Circle K or a QT. They're across the street from each other. And I told Sebastian that QT is Target and Circle K is Walmart. And he was like, yes.
Oh, 100%.
Because I would never, if I had to go to the restroom, QT all the way. I would never go to, but honestly, Target's restrooms are gross too. So maybe that's not a good comparison.
They are kind of gross.
Target's restrooms are the grossest restrooms I've ever been in. They're disgusting.
Sometimes Walmart.
I don't understand it.
So Walmart's kind of.
Walmart restrooms have always been decent for me.
That's true. One time I went into a Walmart restroom. I walked in and I saw this old lady in the restroom. And I was like, okay. I was just like, hey, how you doing? And I went into the stall and I was like, oh shit, I'm in the wrong restroom. And then I like walked out and I was like, I'm so sorry, ma'am. And
you went in the women's restroom?
I went into the wrong one.
You said, hi, how you doing?
I was like in high school. I was like pretty young.
I thought you were going to say that she was like in the wrong one.
No. She was
That's so funny.
She was like washing her hands and I was like, hey, what's up? And then I went into the restroom
so
like
funny.
Not even thinking like you shouldn't see a woman in the restroom.
Did you like immediately leave or you just continued your business?
Oh, no, I didn't realize like in my mind it was like a normal interaction. I just like went into the stall and I was like, wait, there were no urinals and I saw an old lady. Let me get out of here. And she was like, she knew that I didn't realize because she was just like, okay.
This fucking idiot.
Yeah.
This dummy. She probably tells people this story to this day.
Stupid ass kid walked into Walmart.
This dumbass kid said hi to me and just went to the stall. What a weirdo. Anyways, how did he even get on this topic of restrooms?
I don't know. Fun tangent.
And okay. Anyways, what the fuck were we even talking about? Oh, like
South
nervousness. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like it's gonna happen. I feel like I think I still have this like idea that it'll be Friday, I'll be in the Airbnb, and then they'll be like, well, it has to be canceled because of COVID. Like what happened? I mean, that's not what happened last time, but I think I was like maybe 2 weeks away. It was pretty close. I don't know if you remember it, but it was like a week away.
I remember.
I had the days off.
I remember you calling me.
Yeah.
And this was like before COVID had hit, and I was still working on campus. And you were like, hey, they just canceled South by. And I was like,
oh, shit.
Damn. This shit's getting crazy. Because I was like, I wasn't even sure if I was supposed to come back from spring break. Like, because like that was, I remember that was like the first time I was like, oh shit, this COVID thing is getting pretty, is like hitting.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, I don't know. Part of me feels like it's not real. I've also, I don't know. This is something, I always feel silly saying this. I don't know why, but it's something I've wanted to do for like such a long time. Like ever since I was in Austin, I think or maybe it was ever since we started going to the If I Were You shows or like the HeadGum shows. Mm-hmm. But maybe even before then, I think before then, like a couple years before then, I went one time and we just like randomly got into a screening, like me and my friends, and we had waited in line for like hours, and then the filmmakers were like, we have extra tickets if you guys want them, and we were like, yeah. And I think after that I just saw the like whimsy of it, where we watched I didn't know anything about South by, how these like film festivals worked, but at the end of the movie, all the filmmakers, like, they were like, so we're going to have like a Q&A with the cast and crew, because it was the premiere. And I just like, me and the people that I was with were in the very front row, because they were like, we literally have like 4 tickets left and it's for you. And we just like got on the very first row of like where we're supposed to watch the fucking movie. And then after, they were like, okay, so here's the cast and crew. And they were all like getting up from their seats. And I was like, fuck, they were sitting here the whole fucking time while we were watching it.
That's so fun.
Yeah. And then so they got up and they were in front of us. And then they were like, oh, and then here's the crew. Like they were calling out crew members that were sitting in the theater. And it was basically every single person that made this movie took up the entire theater. Like, except for, probably people that were had like badges or wristbands, and then just us, like 4 random people. And ever since then, I was like, this is cool. Like that you get to watch these movies that nobody, I mean, it was a small movie, and it is on, I think, Peacock now or something. I saw it somewhere. I like stumbled upon it. But for the most part, it's like a small group of people that at least get to see this movie this early, or get to see it ever. And then you get to experience it with the people that made it. Yeah. It's just so like, it's such a cool idea. And ever since then, it just was one of the things I wanted to do. And it's South by, I mean, there's dreams of obviously going to like Sundance, but like South by is obviously the one that I could go to. It was like in reach. So yeah, so I guess what I'm trying to say is this has been like a dream of mine to go to do. And the fact that it's finally happening feels like strange. And I feel like I should be more nervous, or I should be more excited, but I'm kind of just like baseline ready to just go watch the movies that I have in my schedule.
Yeah. What's your most anticipated?
Ooh, there's some headliners. I think actually, is tomorrow Thursday? Yeah. So tomorrow, how the badges work, I can go into it more detail like when we do the episode about my experience, but from the ranking of like who gets to be let in is like, obviously the top is filmmakers and like people and guest passes that they have, and then platinum badges, which is like, the people that can pay a lot for these that get into everything, and then film badges. But then there's something called express passes, and this is the whole reason I'm bringing it up is because it's kind of like a fast pass where the day before that screening at 9 a.m., you have to go on and try to get an express pass for the movies that you really want to see. So like for my most anticipated ones, I guess I'm like categorizing it by like, what am I going to use this pass for? Because I get 2 a day. And it basically guarantees you, it says that if you get this express pass and you go 45 minutes early, you're going to get in. And so I think that's when it'll feel real, is when tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. when I try to get the pass for the first one, which is, I think it's called Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh my goodness, I'm so jealous.
That's the
bro.
opener. That's the opener, and it's
So
gonna be at the
jealous.
Paramount, which is like, we've been there. We went to go see. We've been there for a couple times at the Paramount. Yeah, I know.
Wow.
I feel bad talking about this
No,
stuff with you, 'cause
no.
I know, but
I
hopefully,
asked.
I know but you're gonna go one day too, so it's not like.
Yeah. Plus, that
out of
movie
reach.
comes out like has a theatrical
It comes out
release
really soon.
pretty soon. So I thought it was like way further in advance, but pretty soon.
Usually it's like right after. Let me look at my schedule. So that's the first one that I'm really excited for, and I'm gonna try so fucking hard to get this fast pass, because apparently it's like Disneyland, where now you have to do the same thing where the day before, or either the morning of or the day before, you have to get the fast pass for what you want. And for like Star Wars shit, it sells out like in a second.
Yeah.
Or in like a minute. So that'll be
Fuck Disney.
Yeah. And then there was another one. Shit. Oh, the one that we keep seeing trailers for, The Lost City with Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock. That's also premiering on Saturday. And I'm actually really excited to see it. And every time I see the trailer, there's a part, do you know that part where Brad Pitt comes and she's like, "Why are you so handsome?" And he says, "My dad was a weatherman." Every fucking time, like unironically and not joking, it makes me laugh every single time.
That's a funny line.
So fucking funny. So I'm really excited to see that one. Then there's another headliner called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for this, but it has Nicolas Cage.
Oh, the Nick
I think,
Cage
playing
one.
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's also playing.
Damn. That's awesome.
There's some buzz screenings that, like, the whole thing is that you don't know what it is until you, I guess, go and see it. So I at least want to get into, I want to get into multiple, but I want to at least get into one. Then X, obviously A24's new horror film. That one I'm very excited for. I'm excited for all of the midnight screeners.
I got to tell Kayla that
They're
you're going to
called
see that because
Midnighters.
she wants to see that really, really bad.
X?
Mm-hmm.
Really? I thought she doesn't like, who am I thinking of?
Not Kayla.
I don't know. I'm very excited for that one. That's another one that I'm trying to get my express pass for.
Dang, you're see some bangers.
I know. It's a good year.
That's good.
It's a very good year. Yeah, there's just like a bunch of other stuff. I want to try to get a bunch of free stuff. I'll try to get you some stuff. Because that's the whole thing too, is that they have a lot of activations. And it's just like lounges or stuff where they give out free food and free stuff. And Sebastian and I went to a couple one year, but when we went, we had to wait a long time because they separate the line from like normal people and then badge holders. And I told Sebastian, I can't fucking wait to when I get a badge and I don't have to wait in this line. And so now
It's the year.
I'm just going to go and every time I have free time, that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to go into a bunch of
Nice.
Places. Cha-Cha Real Smooth is also playing. I'm trying to see if I should go see that at the theater, if I should they have an online one. I kind of want to just do that. Yeah. Do you know are you familiar with like Casey Neistat and David Dobrik, all those people? Do you care about them at all? So
not really, but what do you have to say?
Okay. Well, this is kind of just for like me and Sebastian. Well, I'm sure people that are listening care, but there's this whole drama with David Dobrik, Jeff Wittick, like the whole like he almost thing? So I've been keeping up with this drama just because I know nothing about these people, but I just love drama. So I've been keeping up with it. And today I learned while watching H3, I don't know if you listen to them, but I was watching their podcast and they were kind of talking about the drama and how the reason that Jeff Wittick is kind of coming out against David Dobrik now is because Casey Neistat sent him this interview where David Dobrik basically blamed Jeff for what happened, even though he was the person who was operating the excavator that Jeff slammed his face into. So I've been hearing all this drama this entire week about this. And then, I think I said Casey Neistat, right? He made this documentary about David Dobrik, and he was supposed to just make it about like just how he's a big fan of David, and then when he like agreed to do the documentary, is right when like a bunch of drama started happening. So the documentary was like supposed to be one thing, but turned into another thing. All that to say, I didn't realize until today that that documentary is showing at South by.
Oh.
And so that's another, just because I love the drama of it all, that's another one that I'm actually really excited for.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in Casey Neistat just for like his type of videos, because he did like one a day for like a whole year or something crazy.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about him, obviously, but I know nothing about him. I've never seen any of his videos, but from what, I mean, I don't know if he's ever done anything like this, so if it is his, like, debut of being a documentary filmmaker, then I'm excited to see it, but I probably won't try to go to the premiere, because I think it's at the same time as The Lost City, and that is my number one priority.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of other, like, those are the ones that I'm assuming you heard of, but there's other ones too that are that I'm excited for, at least to, hopefully they'll be good and I can talk about them. And yeah, a lot of the Midnighters, just cause, I mean, that's my vibe, a lot of the features, but yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm trying to play it by ear, not trying to overwhelm myself to see everything, obviously, but
yeah. That's really cool. That's exciting.
I'm very excited. I'm nervous just for the logistics of it all, but I'm excited. And I'm excited to, a lot of people say like their biggest piece of advice is just to enjoy it. And like, even when you're in line, don't just like sit there and wait, like talk to people. And yeah, like, cause it's all, I mean, everybody's there either because they're a part of the industry or they love film. So like,
I'm sure you'll have some good conversations.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm not pressuring myself to try to make friends or like lasting connections, but I just want to like have a good time, you know?
Yeah. That's a good,
I want to see if there's, oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say that's a good mind space to go into this with.
Yeah. Cause if I'm like, I need to have networked with 5 people, like I don't care about that. But I'm also curious about how many people just like are kind of like me where I'm assuming there's a lot of people, but where they like save up and they buy a badge and they go, you know, I'm wondering how many people do that, or if it's like all industry people and it's just me where I'm like, I don't know anybody.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of people.
Maybe. I think I said this, I don't know if I said this just to you or on the podcast, but I did last year. That's when I went to the online South by whenever I did the series, and so I changed my
you said that
job title, so at least it looks like it says like producer, so at least it looks like I have proof, so I'm not like, you know, that whole like call yourself a filmmaker right now. Yeah. Like I kind of am, you know, like
you've been producing stuff as well as been on a podcast that talks about movies.
I know, so
for like 2 years at this point.
Yeah, true. And Sebastian got me a recorder, and that's kind of one of my challenges to myself is I want to see, like, if I do meet somebody or if like I come across somebody, I want to be like, oh, I have a movie podcast, if I can just ask you a couple questions. I want to try to do that, but I don't know. I think I'm going to chicken out.
In reality, you're just going to be like, day 3. I've been watching all these midnight movies so much that I've turned into a nocturnal animal. Just all and alone by yourself.
I should get a journal and just start writing like.
I started doing that not because of the movie, but I get it. Underlining nocturnal animal.
Maybe I'll get a little notebook. I want to look like my whole thing is I like when I go to the movies and I write like notes. Just in front of just normal people, because I'm like, oh, they probably think I'm
normies.
They don't. Nobody cares. Yeah, like in my mind, people are like, oh, she's so mysterious taking notes during this. Like, what is she writing? But like nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit.
No one's even. Yeah.
But I'm gonna do some people watching. I'm gonna be so creepy. Where I'm gonna like take the recorder. I'm gonna take a little notebook, I think, and I'm going to see what other people do and just kind of mime them so I can feel like I'm a part of the, just kind of play mind games with myself where I'm like,
I've been here before.
Convincing myself I should be. Yeah, act like you've been there,
Yeah.
So I just need to act cool,
Cool. Well, what have you watched?
I actually watched a lot today. Not a ton overall, though. obviously, because you're still winning. I can't wait to see what this number looks like next week, though.
I know. I'm a little scared.
I don't know if it'll be a ton, though. I mean, I'm sure it will be, but will it be 15? Maybe. I don't know.
You'll have like at least 4 movies a day, and it's for a solid week, so that's at least 20 movies.
Oh, true.
Or 28. So it'll be around 30 movies that you'll probably see.
Let's hope so. Because I am falling behind. It actually should be 116. Or did I put that? No. It should be 116 because I haven't logged one that I just watched.
Mine should be 137. I haven't logged Drive My Car.
Well, it's not, so. Well, there you go. I guess we're even then. All right. What did I watch? I watched, a few good ones. I watched Memories of Murder. I don't know if you've seen this one. Bong Joon-ho.
No, but I saw you gave it a high rating. Those always are on my radar.
Very good.
And I normally add those to my watch list because I'm like, all right.
Oh, when I give it a high rating?
Yeah.
It's, okay, then I won't say anything about it because I think you should watch it. He just knows how to make people feel when he writes his movies. That's all I'll say. I watched it. Oh, I didn't even put a star rating for this one. Let me change that. For the battery, I didn't even notice that. It was so bad. No, I'm kidding.
So bad.
I'll probably give it like 2.5. It was fine. Oh God. Yeah. So it's on. I watch on Canopy. It looks like it was made with a small budget, which I actually appreciate. I don't mind when movies look like that, or when I can tell, it doesn't. The actors aren't like high level actors. It's like it looks like a group of friends made it. But I liked it. It felt like a different kind of zombie movie. It wasn't what I expected based off of the poster, honestly, but I didn't hate it. At the end it kind of dragged though, so I didn't really appreciate that. And then I watched The Batman for the second time. This time I gave it, so I think the first time I watched it, I gave it 3.5. This time 4 because I was fully awake and I understood everything because I had so many questions when we first left. And yeah, it's so good. It's really good. It
hits all the marks again,
It really does. Because honestly, going in to rewatch it, I wasn't as excited as I thought I would be. But then when we got in and it started, I was like, oh, this is great. Mm-hmm. I watched it. So the reason we went again is because we took Sebastian's parents and we went to the Mayan because they have. Oh, yeah. They show the movie with Spanish subtitles. And so that was fun to watch, to see like
El Rata
certain things.
Alada.
Yeah, or just like certain things they how they would translate it. And I used Sebastian and I would like say them to each other. So that was kind of fun to see the translations of it. And a couple things that Sebastian told me, or that we caught the second time, or I guess a prediction that Sebastian had, I can't really take credit for it, is he thinks that Bane is going to be in the next movie. Specifically because of the Mountain Dew that...
the adrenaline.
I was going to say Peter, that Bruce injected into him. Sebastian said that's what Bane has. He has something in his back or something that it constantly injects him with it. So he thinks that he's gonna be in the next movie. And I need to watch it again, or I need to find a clip online because at the end, spoilers for Batman, skip a couple of minutes I guess, but or seconds. But at the end when the Riddler's all pissed that he didn't win or whatever. Over the TV, you can hear them talking about... all I heard was, they say some guy with a mask. And at first, I was I'm assuming they're talking about the Riddler, but why would they keep talking about him if he's already in Arkham?
Maybe Batman.
So, I was well, I guess so. But, why wouldn't they just say the Batman?
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. I need to watch it again. Because that could also fit with the theory of,
Bane.
Yeah. Anyways... That was it. It kind of sets it up, right? That all these people, that's how the end, the end sets up that, or not Arkham, Gotham is turning into such a shithole. Even more so that all these criminals there's a huge power grab. All these criminals are coming to the surface. It would make sense.
That's true.
Yeah. So that's it.
Fair enough.
It made so much, like I said, I can't express to you enough how much that it matters to watch this when you're fully conscious.
Oh, yeah.
And you are not tired from the day, because it made so much sense. Oh, and I saw that, like, the scare at the beginning. So good. I wish I would have seen it the first time.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Loved it.
What else?
Oh, shit. Last two. So I watched a movie on Netflix called Through My Window. It's one that Netflix is like constantly telling me, like, you need to see this. I don't know why though. It was so bad. My review is just oof.
Oof.
Just because there was like one thing that happened in it that I just like was so problematic to me, that in a movie that's supposed to be romantic, it just felt so strange. And it was fine. Another thing though is that I watched it during work, and I think it was supposed to be in Spanish, but I watched it dubbed, which you should never do because it's so bad. But either way, I don't even think it would have made a difference because it was just a bad movie. And then I watched the one I didn't put on Letterboxd was the Cloverfield Paradox. Do you remember that movie? Because I don't know if you saw that one tweet.
It's where they're in space, right?
Yeah. I don't know if you saw that one tweet where somebody was like, remember, I will never forget when they dropped this movie after the Super Bowl and then nobody talked about it ever again.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so embarrassing. And like, one, that's so embarrassing. Two, I couldn't tell you what, and I have a theme where like, I couldn't tell you what happened in this movie. So I had to watch it to see. And yeah, it's not, I mean, it's bad. It's not terrible. It's not like the worst movie I've ever seen, but
The only thing I remember
I just
is
don't
like
understand
his arm getting swallowed.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I kind of remember.
The science of it all, I can't speak to. Probably doesn't make any sense. But I think that's what made it bad was like, well, first of all, don't give us another Cloverfield movie. I don't know why they felt like they had to do that. Because they had such a solid, 1 and 2. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Why do any more with it? I like the idea though of like having one universe. This is where they fucked up, because I really love the idea of having a universe, like a cinematic universe, where each movie is telling a different story or a different perspective of what's happening in the same universe, and in different styles. You know how the first one is found footage, the second is more of like a mystery thriller drama kind of thing.
Yeah, the third was like sci-fi, but like.
But I wish they would have done something different. And like anytime you include anything that has to do with like universes, paradoxes, that's not interesting to me. And it's also so fucking confusing. Because like the new one, Everything Everywhere All at Once, I'm really excited for it, but I'm really nervous for the science shit. Because I'm not going to have you or Sebastian that I can lean over and be like, do you understand what's happening?
Yeah.
I'll have, who's the director of that? Or like, what if I'm sitting next to like the star of it and I'm like, do you understand what's happening?
Leave. Just leave.
I'm like, wait, can you explain to me what's happening?
Wow.
And I don't even know they're in the movie.
Or it's like your first time where you don't even realize that you're next to the crew.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just like whisper to yourself like, what the fuck is happening?
This is such a bad movie.
Yeah.
I just write down oof.
Oof.
In big letters and they see it.
Underlined.
But no, I would never fault a movie for me being dumb. So that's why sometimes I'm like, I don't know if this movie's bad because of the science, because truly I'm just dumb. So I don't know. I didn't understand URL Ratalata when he first said it. They said it so many times the first time and I was like, what? So yeah, that's all. Now I see why I didn't watch it, or why, it kind of just left my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, just leave Cloverfield alone. I think they should have just done something, not do anything at all, or just, I don't know.
It was done right with Matt Reeves, who...
Oh, yeah.
He did
okay.
Cloverfield.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's why, that's... So because of that tweet, but also because Sebastian and I were talking about Matt Reeves, and he asked, like, what else has he done? And I looked at his filmography, and he really hasn't done a ton. So it's very surprising to me that it's like Batman is so fucking good. But Cloverfield is my day one. I fucking love that movie.
I know a lot of people like the War and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Those are solid, and they
I
have
haven't
Andy
seen them
Serkis
in a long time, but yeah, solid.
Oh, and then the last thing about the Batman is I don't know if this is a controversial take, but I think Andy Serkis is my favorite Alfred. I think he's the best one that I've seen. I haven't seen all of them, but I think he's my favorite.
That is quite controversial. Why do you say so?
I don't know. I think I always felt that Michael Caine did care for like Bruce, like his Alfred cared for him, but this connection just felt so much deeper. Like when I looked at them, I did see the history between them and how he was, he's like kind of his father, but they don't like to say it because he's not his father, like that kind of thing. It does feel like Alfred takes care of him. And I like the backstory of him, like showing him how to fight. And I don't know. I also love Andy Serkis. I think he's so underappreciated.
Yeah. I guess it depends on because there are different Alfreds.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the first one that is he's like a unique Alfred where he's taught him how to fight.
Exactly.
And
does
showed
the
him
ciphers
the ropes.
so quick. Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite other Alfred is the one in Val Kilmer's Batman Forever. I love him.
I have to look him up.
Michael Go.
Yeah. And you know what? We saw a clip. I forgot to tell you about this, but we saw a clip of the Val Kilmer one where it had like Jim Carrey. And I was like, oh, I from this movie, the only scene I remember is the one with Robin and his family, how they just all like fall and just die, and he looks out that hole. And Sebastian was like, he was like, no, that's the Robin from the George Clooney one. And I was like, no, it's not. He was so confident. He was like, and obviously that makes me be like, no.
You're going to get humbled right now, Sonny.
Yeah. And so we looked it up, and apparently like he's in the cast list for both.
What?
But we didn't check that after, like we just looked online, and he was like, Sebastian was like, oh, he is in the Val Kilmer one. And then he looked at the George Clooney one, and he's like, wait, he's here too.
Oh, no, yeah, he is in both. I think because...
Is he?
Because
that's wild.
It was like Val Kilmer, like the story continued, but instead of Val Kilmer, it was George Clooney.
Oh. Okay, that makes sense.
I forgot about that. It's like a trilogy, and then I think the last Val Kilmer, I don't really remember. There's something there.
Anyways, we were just like, so that's why, because Sebastian's never like, or either of us, whenever we're like kind of like, oh, maybe you're right, one of us will secede, is that the word? Or one of us will like retreat concede, that's what it is. Secede from the union. One of us will always concede, where we'll be like, maybe you're right. But this one we were both like, no, fuck you, I'm correct.
So I mean, technically
strange.
You were right, because it is Val Kilmer. The movie is with Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
But I mean, technically you're right.
Well, that's why I showed him the scene when we were waiting for the movie to start, and he was like, oh, okay, I don't remember this. And I was like, well, this is the only scene I remember. I don't know why. And then he was like, it was just like a whole conversation where we both remember that we just didn't remember anything from this movie. Anyways, yeah, that was it. A little tangent.
Cool.
But yeah, he's my favorite Alfred, and I stick by that.
Right on. More power to you. So that's all you've seen?
Yeah.
All right. I have a couple. Pacific Rim. Checked out from the library. Solid pick. Oh, shit. I need to put the second one. I didn't put the second one. Wow. Yeah, so the first one, some like background on that movie. It was either Pacific Rim was going to get made, or I think Hellboy 3. Then they chose, original IP. So every time I see this movie, I think of that. And, part of me wants to hate this movie because, it's the reason that Hellboy 3 doesn't exist. But I love this movie a lot. Pacific Rim. It's a solid one. So
that's how I feel every time I see District 9, how it was supposed to be Halo.
Oh, yeah.
But District 9 was the right choice.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to think of that example.
Mm-hmm.
Solid movie. The second one, they should have let it be. Honestly.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Not
I've seen the
worth it.
second one. I saw it in theaters.
You've never seen the original Pacific Rim?
No. It was because it was a situation where Homer loves the first one, right? I think he watches it all the time. And when the second one came out, Mom told me that they were going to go see it. And she's like, do you want to come? And I'm like, well, I haven't seen the first one, but I like going to the movies, so sure.
Honestly, I think my brain...
Couldn't tell you what happened in that movie.
My brain auto-corrected what you said because I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Maybe I could have said it wrong. I mean,
No. It just doesn't make any sense why you would watch that one. Because that one's so bad and the first one's really good.
I just wanted popcorn and an icy. Truly, that's it.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Then I watched Paths of Glory. It's a anti-war film by Stanley Kubrick, starring Kirk Douglas, who is Michael Douglas's father, and he looks so much like him. It's insane.
Yeah.
Have you seen this movie before?
No.
Truly angering. Really good.
Why?
It's just about war and how pointless it is, and just misogyny and World War I. So solid movie. It really made me want to watch 2001: The Space Odyssey. Because just reading, because I got it from the library and it was the Criterion, so I was reading the like little pamphlet just about like the movie and how it was getting made and how the budget was really low. You know, like a lot of, not a lot, but some of Kubrick's films, and it was like $1 million was the budget, and like a third of it went to Kirk Douglas. Like he was the reason it got made, pretty much. So I was just reading that was cool. Then I watched some Oscar-nominated shorts, Audible, and The Long Goodbye. Don't have much to say about Audible. I pretty much agree with what you said. It's just like some of the shots were interesting for a documentary. Like it was shot way more cinematic than a lot of the documentaries that I've seen, at least. But The Long Goodbye, bro, that ending hit hard. Where I was just like, whoa. Did you feel like the shakiness of the camera was too much at the end?
No. Because I don't mind. I don't like shakiness when there's something to see, but I think that it was a device to like show what was, to like put you in the mood of what was happening when he was dying.
I was just curious because I know
I don't mind it. I just don't like it when it's like chase scenes or fight scenes when I'm supposed to be seeing like what's happening.
You just can't see shit.
Yeah, but like in this case, honestly, I didn't even remember that it was shaky until you said it, because it just like
used very effectively.
Yeah, exactly. It was not just put in there because you didn't want to spend extra time like showing the actors not how to punch each other, you know?
Yeah. But this short, The Long Goodbye, was very good.
Really good.
I honestly
scary.
Yeah, scary. Just like, yeah, just watch it. I don't even know what else to say. I can't really say much else, but very, very scary. I didn't watch the my family game time Penance because I didn't really have time. What was it? I think it was Fresh. No, not Fresh.
No. Oh, The Feast.
The Feast. I haven't seen it yet, but I will say I was looking at the letterbox because I was trying to remember what it was, and I remembered that I added it to my watch list. And I accidentally clicked the trailer button, and it brought me to YouTube. And I didn't want to watch the trailer, but I scrolled to the comments, and the top one was like, it was like I'm old and numb, but this trailer made me scared.
I am old and numb.
Something like that. So I'm excited to watch the movie.
I don't know if it scared me per se. I just liked it.
Well, just the trailer at the very least. What was the movie called again?
Yeah.
I want to look at what exactly it was
The
called.
Feast, I think.
Yeah, so that's what that
That's
I
so
saw.
funny. Have you seen Fresh? Did you watch it at Sundance?
No, I didn't watch it yet. Or I didn't see it at Sundance. But it's on Hulu.
Yeah.
I do want to watch it. I feel like I know what happens because I've seen a couple of the...
Yeah,
I see
me
like,
too.
some stuff on Twitter. But
Yeah, I saw a joke about. I think. Oh wait, maybe you sent it to me. No, did you see? Somebody on TikTok made like a joke about Army Hammer, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
fuck.
yeah.
Well, now I know what this movie's about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I saw some even stuff like when they were talking about it at Sundance.
Oh, okay.
But so yeah, I'm ready to play the game.
Oh shit.
Sorry, I didn't watch the movie, but I do have that funny little anecdote. While you're pulling it up, I don't even know if I want to mention it, but I do have 100 followers on Letterboxd now.
Do you really?
I hit triple digits.
How did you get to 100? How do you get followers?
I don't know.
You just watch stuff?
Yeah.
Do you think... Oh, I was going to ask you, do you think Sundance gave you a boost?
Not at all.
Do you think South by... Oh, okay.
Not at all. I mean, I didn't really like
I'm going to try to tweet.
Or anything.
Oh, not for that. I'm just saying if people are like, oh, he's at Sundance, I'm going to follow him.
No, no one really did. Except for a couple of people that I followed.
Okay, I guess we're going to go back to the first game that we played, which is Filmography.
Let's do it.
Where... Oh, yeah. So we pick... just to remind you and then the audience, I guess, when we pick somebody and we just go back and forth trying to name a movie that they've been in. And then whoever... I think it's... The whole thing is, like, if you get it wrong, then I have a chance to... Wait, let me see. Yeah, when a player can't name another film or repeats a film that has already been named, the next player will have a chance to knock that player out of the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Brad Pitt.
Okay.
The movie is True Romance, so we can't use that one.
So you start first.
Oh, okay. Ocean's 11.
Okay. So Brad Pitt is in Ocean's 11. He is also in...
I thought you were going to do it again.
He is also in Ocean's 12. We're just going to go that.
And then he was in Ocean's 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. He is also in Fight Club.
Okay. He's also in... What else is he in? Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
He's also in Moneyball.
And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That's good. He's also in... We can't do movies that haven't came out yet. Oh, yeah. He's in Deadpool 2.
God damn it, that was the one I was saving. Okay. He's also in World War Z.
Damn it. I was just thinking of that movie. He is in World War Z.
Okay.
He is also in
5. No, kidding.
The Strange Case of Benjamin Button?
Nope.
The Peculiar... No, not Peculiar.
No. I have one,
Fuck.
So you lose. He's in Thelma and Louise. You're thinking of Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Curious Case. Damn, I couldn't get the second word.
Pretty sure he's in Thelma and Louise. Let me look it up. Haven't seen it, but I figured you wouldn't say it.
I was going to say Bullet Train. I was going to say Joe
He's
Dirt.
He's also in The Lost City.
I was going to say Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt.
He's in Meet Joe Black.
Joe Dirt. I wish you would have said
Oh
Joe
my God,
Dirt.
I knew. Okay. I couldn't remember if he was in Snatch, but he is. He's also in
I was going to
Ad
say, is he
Astra.
in the fucking, like, title? Or not title. He's on the thing. Oh, no, that's Jason Statham.
He has a really funny accent in that one.
He's also in Glorious Bastards. You could have said 7, The Big Short.
Megamind.
12 Years a Slave. Megamind, yeah.
Kick-Ass? Who's in Kick-Ass?
Is he?
That's what it says here.
I don't see that on here.
I don't believe it. Burn After Reading.
Fury. I don't know if you've seen that one. Fury.
Yeah. Damn.
Oh, Burn After Reading is good.
Well, what am I watching?
Dang, he's in a ton of shit. Jeez, I didn't
No, yeah, of course he's in a ton.
Prepare for this. Oh, you could watch that other movie. What was it called? Because remember when I was like, you can watch a comedy or How It Ends. Apprentice.
Okay. How It Ends.
I think that's what it's called. You'll like that one. These are two that you'll like.
Okay.
Yeah, How It Ends. How It Ends and then The Feast.
Cool.
Both South by watches that I watched last year.
I won't talk about The Feast because I already kind of talked about it now. But
Okay.
All right. Well, let's hit the break. When we come back, drive my car.
Yusuke Kafuku, a stage actor and director still unable after 2 years to cope with the loss of his beloved wife, accepts to direct Uncle Vanja at a theater festival in Hiroshima, where he meets Misaki, an introverted young woman appointed to drive his car. In between rides, secrets from the past and heartfelt confessions will be unveiled. Directed by Ryusuke Hamaguchi, written by Ryusuke Hamaguchi and Takamasa Oe, based on the short story by Haruki Murakami, and starring Toko Miura and Hidetoshi Nishijima.
Critics gave it a 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb, a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. On Letterboxd, it has an average of a 4.2 stars. So, very good.
By the way,
good.
Sorry if I butchered the names. I tried.
I think you did pretty good.
Thank you.
A lot of research.
Very good. I gave it a 4-star, which is high praise.
Yeah, high praise. I'll probably give it a 4.5 just because I'm better than you and I really like this movie. I'm just playing.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't take any notes because I was kind of lazy, but I also just I just loved every moment that I didn't really feel like I needed to talk about any specific part. And it felt like a movie that was so whole in its storytelling that it wasn't like, oh, here's one little piece that I want to talk about or what. Like, it just felt like a complete story. Yeah.
It's hard to dissect a movie and not take I feel like if we were to pick apart every single piece, it would take 9 years, it would take a long time.
Yeah.
So I took a couple of notes, but it's just some broad strokes on some things. First one, cool ass car.
Very ass cool car. I don't like a 2-door, but I love the car.
I don't know what it is.
Wouldn't get a 2-door, but
I really, really love boxy cars.
Me too.
Like that. Kayla's like, why? It looks gross, but
no, I wholeheartedly agree with you, because Sebastian and I feel the same way. Where that's why we like cars from the 80s, 90s. Those cars just look so cool, and I don't like this whole trend of making every car look like a fucking CRV. Mm-hmm. I don't like it. I love a boxy car.
Like an 87 Volvo,
yeah.
Old. I don't know, there's a boxy, it looks cool.
I like a Land Cruiser.
So
that's what I like.
Cool ass car, just from the get-go.
Love the car. Wouldn't drive it, I'd be too scared.
Yeah. I would be terrified just to you could tell he mentions that he takes very good care of it. And
yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I don't have a car yet, but it made me want to take care of a car like that. Have the whole wrap, the big car condom that you put on it.
Oh, the one that, yeah. Nope, I don't take care. I take care of my car, but the world doesn't seem to take care of it. It has hail damage. It has somebody hit it. It just has the world is against it, but I love it.
Yeah.
There is something about taking care of a car, though. It's it's just the reliability of it, and it kind of is the whole if you take care of it, it'll take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just love the car theme. Cars theme.
Yeah, and I will say some of this reminded me of Titan.
How so?
In the father-child relationship, and they're not necessarily the family that you're wanted, but it's one that you it came unexpected.
Yes.
And that could be a reading at the end. I don't know. We'll get into some of that, but just a lot of my notes just talk about how just the way this story is told is so perfect, because it is 3 hours, which is kind of long for like, normal moviegoers. But I think the way it's broken up into is just such a smart, it's just so smart, and to use the credits. Like I remember hearing, that's like the only thing I knew about this movie is that the credits dropped at like 41 minutes, like the opening credits, which is like, boom, insane.
That's exactly what I would do. I want a movie that's 90 minutes long and credits 80 minutes.
Right? And
80 minutes in, and you'll know who the fuck is in this movie.
And the title card is at the very end, Like,
yes, love it.
So smart to just like play with that traditional, part of movies. And it just fits so well because, the first 40 minutes is totally a prelude to the rest of the movie. It felt like Full Metal Jacket. I know you haven't seen it, but it's you can kind of take the first half of the movie as like a short film almost. And I know it made me think of the Batman as well, because there is like a novel to talk about the events of or just to like get you in the right mind space of like where the characters are.
Right.
But to actually put it to film is such a smart thing. And it just reinvigorated me when I was watching it, because I was like, when the credits roll, I was like, oh shit, this is getting real. Like, despite it being slow, and it just really is just conversations the entire time. I don't know.
You know what it felt like? It felt like a really dramatic version of the Up opening.
Yeah, exactly.
It felt like that, but like very artsy.
Yeah, very art house.
Yeah, I knew that I loved it instantly, but I also at the end of the movie I was like, oh, I bet if it does win Best Picture, which I don't think it will, but if it does, people are gonna be pissed.
Yeah, I don't think it will either. But
yeah, I don't think it has. I mean, I think it has a shot in my mind. Like, to me, I haven't seen Coda yet, and that one I've heard is pretty good, but this one would be at the top of my list, I feel.
Yeah,
it's very good. And I guess to start from the beginning, I didn't have any notes, like I said, but I'd just go, I guess, beat by beat of like, it feels like this movie's broken up into pretty separate like parts, but the first one, I guess the first 40 minutes, I really like when movies, I don't know if I can articulate this well, but I really like when movies give like such weird quirks to their characters. Like the fact that after every time they were done having sex, that she would finish her screenplay.
Yeah.
That's just so funny. Like, that's such a funny, like, weird thing that I bet as a writer, thinking about that, of like what a unique and interesting thing to have a character do. I bet they were super proud of that, which they should be, because that's such a strange way to learn about this person, but I really liked it. And also her screenplay, the idea was so interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so fully formed.
And it's crazy to, it's like the whole Chekhov's gun, where like, everything has to pay off in a story. And
I don't know what that is.
Well, that's what it is. Like if there is a gun, if like you mentioned a gun in a
oh, okay,
as a plot, or in the plot, it has to go off eventually by the end of the story in order for it to be, effective or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking of that, and I was like, when are they going to talk about this? Like, why does she do this? And it wasn't until like 2 hours later that we find out. And for a lot of these things, with the main actor that he eventually casts, and the one who had an affair with his wife, like why did he stop having all these gigs? We don't learn until the very end. Like a lot of those things, I feel like movies, or at least writers and directors, they want to immediately pay off, or like immediately tell the audience, this is why that is the case, but they don't show a lack, or they have a lack of restraint, and they just don't trust the audience's patience. And I think this movie does that perfectly. Yeah.
Well, I think the big thing, the reason that is because that's an American thing. Mm-hmm. Like American studios and American filmmakers, or not filmmakers themselves don't do this, but American studios, like I can imagine a studio being like, I like this, but like I don't know if audiences will know why the main character doesn't get gigs anymore. I feel like you need to say it, or that actor, I feel like you need to say it early.
Right.
Or like they don't have patience for that, or like cut out the girl that speaks Korean Sign Language, because why?
Yeah.
There's just all these things that are added to this movie that make it so rich that I feel like can only happen with a certain culture in filmmaking. Yeah. And that's why I fucking love, like, Asian filmmakers are they're those films that I've seen over the past few years, like now that I've opened myself more to like watching films of other countries. God damn it, they do it so well.
Yeah.
Just like and it's so interesting too to see the different kinds of, I mean, obviously cultures are different in how they do anything, but like filmmaking wise, it's so interesting. Like there was a time where I watched a lot of French films, and they kind of do that stuff. I don't know. It's just like the storytelling is so different in every culture, but I feel like, I don't know, maybe because we're so close to Americans that we can, like, obviously because we are them, but like we can be a little bit more critical of the way that films are made for us. Because I hate that. I hate that I feel like that's something that we wouldn't get in an American film. But like Bong Joon-ho says, we just got to fucking read. Yeah. Just read, bitch, and you can figure it, you can see it.
So 2-inch barrier.
Yeah. So, but yeah, exactly. I love that. And also I just love the mystery of it. And like, I feel like they gave us so much of what these characters, who they are at their core, that honestly, if they didn't tell us why he didn't get gigs anymore, it would have been fine. Because that wasn't a huge part of why I was so interested in their dynamic,
Right.
But yeah.
But it is a lot of telling of the character, and that's like,
yeah.
So like it's just so perfectly written, because like everything that everyone does, you could tell it just speaks so highly of their character, and everything that they say, like all the conversations between, the two characters, or any of them, honestly, you just find out so much.
Yeah. And I really like, well, first of all, I think I like his whole deal of like wanting to, how he learns his scripts or how he practices. And he's like, I need you to give me a hotel that's like an hour away because I need that drive. Like, I really like that. And I told Sebastian, like, if it feels like such a pretentious thing to ask for, but honestly, if I was to that degree, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, I want to be in a car for an hour before I go to my job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I don't have, like I said, I don't want to give away too much about the movie. Like I only have a couple of notes. I mean, I guess we could talk about the ending too. Like that's the only like real notes I have. I don't know how you want to do this. Just normally go through the beats.
Yeah, I guess we can do that. I mean, the only thing I really have to say is I really love how I feel like this movie, it covers a lot of things I don't think I've ever seen in film, but it also really showcases this weird, like, confessional quality that cars have. Like, I've had so many deep conversations in cars, and it feels like it's so easy to have a conversation, especially a hard one. Like, whether you're like learning about your parents, whether they're telling you something that they've never said before, because it's so easy to just look straight and like be focused on something rather than have a conversation where you're sitting and looking at each other. Or if you're like, if you like want to have a kind of an argument with your significant other, it feels less scary to do it when you're driving, weirdly, because like that's when you should be focusing on the fucking road. But like there is like this weird like I said, confessional vibe that cars have, and I feel like this is the first movie that I've seen that shows that, like that they feel, I understood why it's not out of the ordinary for somebody to like share such a dark secret of like, I just sat there while my mom was crushed by our house. Like that's such a such a dark thing to say and to tell somebody, and like especially the way that her character just like held that in. You could see it, you could see it in her, the way that she composed herself, that she was hiding something or that there was something she was ashamed of. But it felt so believable that somebody would confess something like that to almost a complete stranger in a car, because like, why not?
What, you driven around with them for, a couple weeks?
And she doesn't even have to look at him when she says it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It also just feels like, that's why I like the ending, because it feels like that even though they're talking to each other, they're obviously sharing a connection, but like the car really has a lot to do with it more than who is in the car,
Yeah. And so with the ending, I was looking up, I had my own interpretation. Like, I like to think that, they kind of went their separate ways, and he sort of gave the car to him because, that's like something that he cherished from his past. He's had it for, since his first marriage, or since the marriage with his wife who passed. It's sort of like, I don't need to care for this anymore because I've, I've allowed myself to accept what has happened and to move forward. And this is just like a kind of a reminder. So like very symbolic of, that relationship. And, so I think he gave it to her and was like, live your life. Peace.
Yeah. I mean, I think it kind of I think it's like, if he's treating her kind of like a daughter, right? Because I like that little moment of where he asks, like, he figures out what her age is, and so he's like, oh, so you're 23, and she says, yeah. And then when he tells that guy that his daughter died and she would have been 23,
yeah,
I loved that. And that was so sad. But also I feel like, and he told her too, when he was like, if I was your dad, I would tell you it wasn't your fault. And so I feel like he has some, like, he has all this care and all this love that he didn't get to express, like, to his daughter, because she obviously died so young that he didn't ever, kind of like that thing Andrew Garfield said and on Stephen Colbert, where he's like, the grief is all the unexpressed love that you have for this person, and he had nowhere to put it. Or even in Fleabag, like, have all these like references, but she was like, I have all this love. She had all this love for her mom, and she was like, I don't know what to do with it.
Even in WandaVision, what does Vision say?
Oh God. Yeah. What is grief if not love persevering? But that's the whole, like, that's what I got from this. God, you just ruined my thing. But that's what it felt like, where he was like, there's all this like care and love that I have for these people that I never got to express. And I guess that's the way of him, like the ultimate way of him telling this person that he cares about her, that he wants her to thrive, and that he just passed it down to her. And I feel like too, it was like, there's just so much healing, because obviously, even though it was her job, the way that she learned how to drive sounded so traumatic that I can't imagine it was easy to do it every day,
Yeah.
So I feel like he gave that to her, like, you can just drive for yourself. You don't have to drive other people around anymore. Or drive a dog around. Also, okay, but why is the girl leaving a dog in a car?
Yeah, that was a little bit sus.
I mean,
didn't look hot.
Whatever. Okay. But I just thought that was when I was like, I thought it was him. I thought he like got up from a nap or something. I was like, he's still in the back of that damn car.
Okay, so that's what I saw. Another theory is that he didn't really like give it to her, but she still like drives for him as the play is making like a tour around different countries.
I'd like that. That's a good thought.
Yeah, that's a nice one. I think that both the endings, those two that we talked about, are pretty happy. But I think the ones we were saying fit better, just because it feels like the right character progression. Like they're ready for a next chapter. It's like the closing of it is that.
Yeah, and I mean that's the whole thing that they were saying. Like, you just need to move on.
Yeah.
Because. And I like the whole portrayal of like a survivor's guilt. And I feel like anybody who's close to somebody that dies feels that way. I mean, this way, their circumstances are obviously pretty dramatic, you know, that she actually feels like she's responsible for her mom's death, when like in reality, who's to know, who can ever say how they would feel if they're fucking, if there's a landslide happening, you know, like I don't know, if who's to say that her freezing wasn't that she just was traumatized by what was happening, not that she actually wanted her mom to die, you know?
Yeah. Or even that, you know, if she did try to go help, like maybe that
she wouldn't have died too.
She would. They both would have died, and it wouldn't have made a difference.
Yeah, and the same thing with the guy. I already forgot his name, but the same thing with him. Like, who's to say that whatever she wanted to talk about, his wife, was some like, what if she just wanted to talk about her screenplay again? What, you know, like, who's to say it was that she wanted to tell him? And I loved. I think my favorite line of the whole movie is when, my favorite conversation is when the girl is telling him, like, what if, like, you know, you're trying to find all this meaning of like why your wife did what she did and what you did wrong, but like, what if she just loved you and she just fucked other guys? Like, I hate to say it, but what if it was as simple as that, you know? Which I like that. I like the idea that you can find peace with that, you know? You can find peace with, you don't have to have, I don't believe in closure. Like, I feel like that doesn't make any sense, and I don't understand when people are like, well, I need closure, because like, I don't even know what that means, honestly. And I feel like that's what he was looking for. He was looking for this like answer. He was looking for something to tell him, like, oh no, you didn't do anything wrong, or oh, she was going to tell you, or, you know, all these answers that he's searching for, when like, what if there's nothing, you know, like, she died and you didn't get to tell her things. She didn't get to tell you things. Like, you got to move on, because if you keep rehashing it, you're just, what is it going to happen, you know?
Yeah. He said one line, and I was like laying down. I scrambled to get my pen to write it down, because it's like, I was like, I don't know. He said, those who are alive keep thinking about the dead. And that's like perfect like example of what you're saying. Is like, it's going to happen, you know, like that survivor's guilt. It's going to feed into that, but then you just have to move on. I don't know. Just made me think of that quote, but
it just applies to so many things. Like, it also made me think of religion weirdly, like how, like, my own personal view of it, where like you can try to find, I respect people that try to find answers for like why we're here, what's going to happen after we die, like purpose, creation, all this stuff. But like, personally, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't know if we're ever going to figure it out. So why stress about it?
right.
You know, like, that's what it felt like when she was saying that. And maybe that's what's more, maybe that idea is more relevant to me now. So that's why it made me think of it. But like, I don't know. I live in San Antonio. I'm going to South by this week. That's all I need. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to know the ultimate purpose of like why I'm here right now, because that's all I need to focus on is like who I am, where I am, what I'm going to do. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Good movie if it make you think about all this.
Yeah.
The only
oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
No, I was gonna say, especially as an overthinker, you know, like that this whole thing that my therapist always tells me, like when I'm like, oh, what if this person isn't texting me back because I said something wrong? And she's like, what if they're busy? You know, like they just didn't text you back, that you don't have to assign any meaning to that.
Yeah. It's like
she just fucked other guys. You don't have to assign any meaning to that. Like, it's kind of.
Yeah, there's a law. It's like the easiest or the most probable solution is, or something. What is it?
Yeah, the most simple solution is
always
the
right.
The most simple solution is. Oh, Jesus Christ, we sound so dumb.
Someone's yelling. Law.
I think it's like the most simple. Oh fuck, I don't know. The simplest solution is probably correct. No, that's not it.
Hold on, let me get it.
What were you gonna say though? You were gonna say something else, and I cut you off.
It's Occam's razor.
Occam's razor. That does.
The simplest solution is almost always the best.
There you go.
Perfectly put it. That's, yeah. sums up this conversation.
I think so.
The only other note that I have is as I really like the style of the conversations, because the shots are very long and drawn out, and they're very simple, where it's just like medium shot of a character, but it's that for 2 minutes, and they're just talking, and I almost felt like hypnotized, because I was just like stuck in, like I was just focused on what they were saying. I wasn't necessarily thinking about what the characters were doing. I was just like completely in their story or whatever they were talking about. And then it was always broken by like some real thing that was happening, like in the context of the characters, of like what were actually happening. Like the dinner scene when she gets up and goes to pet the dog. Like that snapped me out of it. I was like, oh shit. And then in the conversation in the car, when they were talking at the garbage place where she took him there, when he was thinking about whether or not to cancel the play or to keep it going, when like that frisbee was thrown, and she was like, they were talking and the frisbee was thrown to her and she had to like throw it back. I don't know if that's anything. I don't know if that is like a theme of this director. I definitely want to check out more.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think about that.
Because I honestly, like, funny to say, but I felt like a little bit hypnotized, because I was just like so deep in my thoughts, just thinking about like, what's happening, bro?
No, I feel the same way. And the one that stood out to me is at the last scene of the play that we saw, when it's the director who's like now is to play the uncle, and then the actress, the deaf actress, and just the way that just that conversation, or like what she was saying, it just like took me in, and I think what took me out of it was when it faded to black, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's how it felt for me. Was she deaf or was she mute? I was confused on that part. Cause he's
did I say deaf?
Yeah, you did, but a genuine question, because I know he said her husband said that she could hear, and he was like speaking to her, but I just couldn't tell if she was like mute.
Yeah, no, I think mute is the right word, and I just assumed deaf, but yeah. I like the little reveal where he's like, that was another funny scene where he was like, I wanted to have dinner. I want to make you dinner to apologize. And he's like, for what? He's like, you'll see.
You'll see.
I liked that. That was her audition too. Holy shit. I can't believe I can believe why, but I think she should have been nominated.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think everybody in this was good, but she was like stunning. Every scene she was in, I was like,
just watching,
mesmerized. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, and what's weird too, because I don't speak Korean, and I also don't speak like Korean Sign Language. And so, I don't know. I just felt it's weird to say, but I was hanging on to every single word that she was like signing. Yeah. Just the way she did it. Holy shit.
And when they were in the park, maybe I need some clarification too, because I'm just dumb. But in the park, when they were acting out a scene, and then the lead was like, is that gonna, like, what happened between them? He was like, something happened. Is that always gonna happen? And that's where they have the conversation where he's like, you need to like fully embrace the text, because the text will like do wonders to you, or like impact you, bring out who you are.
I think that's one thing that I think I'm a little too dumb right now to understand, was a lot of the metaphor that the play had, because it was lost on me.
Yeah.
Because I also was like, that means something. I don't know what it means though.
Yeah. I definitely was thinking that too. I was like, there's something about this play. This play means something. I need to do research into it.
Hey guys, listen to me. I have a theory. I don't know if it makes any sense to you, but I think there's something about this play. And I think it means something.
Film bro.
And you talking about
in film school.
Oh God, can you imagine if when this comes out, I'm like telling people at South Bay, yeah, I have a podcast, and they listen to it, and they're like, You dummy.
Don't
There's
even know what to
something
play.
about this play in Drive My Car. I don't know. I'll get back to you on what it is, but I know there's something. But let me tell you all my theories on El Ratalada.
I'll get back to you on that one. I got to hit the books again on that one. That's funny.
But let me tell you why it was funny that they tied up Colin Farrell to waddle like a penguin and the imagery and this metaphor for that. Yeah, I don't know what it means, but it means something.
Yeah, maybe it's just because like I just finished watching it, like, you know, right before we.
Maybe.
But,
I did also finish it today, so I think I'm still unpacking it. I'm assuming it has something to do with like you said, the movie is about conversations, and I think what they meant, because the way they filmed that conversation, I kind of forgot that they were like rehearsing. And so maybe that's what he meant. He was like, is it always going to feel like that rather than a play, you know? But yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, like when we make the time jump, you know, it's like right before is where he's giving, you know, a monologue. Mm-hmm. And he like kind of breaks down and he can't finish it because it's just like hitting too close to home.
Yeah.
I kind of relate. I'm not like an actor. But, like, when you read something, you know, or you read a story or just watch something, you're like, shit, how do they know? Like, this is what I'm going through. Like, resonating with text that you're reading. So I kind of get that. But I just don't know, like, what the play was about exactly.
I don't know. I don't know who the uncle is. I don't know what his deal was. Why everybody was yelling at him. I don't know.
Someone was asking about infidelity. And I don't know.
And he said he could be, like... what did he say? Like, he said he could have been somebody great or something, and I was like,
yeah, you're just taking away
all
my good years.
I don't know. Somebody listening to this that loves this movie and actually paid attention and was like, and you know, like could have critical thinking about it is like so pissed. They're like, what? Of course, the play meant this, this, and this.
They're just gonna start their own podcast.
Please do to explain this movie to us.
Or join us.
Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch... Well, I don't know if I'll watch it again. I'll probably watch it again.
Before the Oscars or just in general?
Just in general. Just.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a rewatch.
It felt... I know it deals with like heavy topics, but it also just felt like such an easy going watch, you know? Like it just felt like it breezed by.
Yeah.
Yeah. Solid.
Highly recommend. It's on HBO Max, so watch it.
Yeah, watch it, please. That's it.
Let us know what you thought about it. That's all I really have.
Give us your theories on the play, please.
Yes. What the fuck is a play?
Because I mean, this might be controversial, but I feel like there's something about the play.
There's something there. We're just scratching the surface.
We'll get back to
Uh,
you. After we focus group, what is about the play?
Citizen Kane. Yeah, there's something there with Rosebud. I don't know what it is, but like first day of film school, that would be fine.
Oh, man. All right.
Yeah, that's all I have. Okay. Thanks for listening. BrotherSisterShow.com to find all of our episodes and all of our social media stuffs. Thank you for listening. Have a good one.
Bye.